When the Golden State Warriors had their best season with 73 wins and 9 losses, it almost seems as if they won due to their peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And as a result, the NBA issued a ban on them. Now let's be real, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But you'll find there are lots of things that the NBA banned that didn't make any sense. But on the flip side, there are some things you might agree with. Either way, some of these reasons are hilarious. Throughout this video, we're going to walk through some of the weirdest things banned from the NBA. Some that might make sense, and even something that should have been banned a long time ago that's getting banned this year. So with all that being said, let's dive right into it. Back in the 2015-2016 season, the Golden State Warriors broke the 1996 Chicago Bulls team record of 72 wins and 10 losses. In fact, they won by a 1-game difference with 73 wins. There has never been another team in NBA history that has even come close to beating this record. Ironically, during this same season, at halftime in the middle of the game, Steph Curry was on the bench talking to his strength and conditioning coach and mentioned he was hungry.
Yelling back to the bench, he was like, "I'm hungry, I'm starved."
He asked him to make him something quick. He came back with the classic PB&J, and from there on, it was a hit for the team. Soon after this, the Golden State Warriors organization issued a temporary ban on the sandwich. Their reasoning was to promote healthier eating habits among their players. But let's be honest here, there are way more things these players could be eating that are far worse.
Ines Pizza.
Oh, nah.
And if you want to see what they look like, check out this video at the top right. You won't believe what these NBA players eat, including Steph. Anyway, long story short, the ban didn't last long as the Warriors players fought back and won. Now we get it, this didn't really make sense to even issue a ban whatsoever, and neither will the next product, Ninja style headbands. In the 2019-2020 season, the Ninja style headbands gained popularity by players like Drew Holiday and Jimmy Butler. But the following season, the NBA banned the headbands as they were not part of the official uniform and therefore didn't pass the league approval process. Apparently, the length and size of these headbands had safety concerns, whatever that looks like. With that being said, at least regular headbands are still allowed, but only if they're right side up. It's a violation if you wear your headband upside down. Yes, you heard that right. The NBA banned upside down headbands because, like the Ninja style headbands, they felt it didn't match the official uniform look. Let us know in the comments what you think about the ban on headbands. After all, they could have been a fashion statement if you think about it. Speaking of fashion statements, back in 2009, Dwayne Wade tried starting a fashion statement himself. This almost feels like an old school Nelly look during the early 2000s. Initially, Wade wore the band-aid to cover up a cut on his left cheek, but then he started to rock it as a fashion statement. And yet once again, the NBA came along and banned this idea and mentioned that band-aid should only be worn for healthcare purposes. Ugh. Why can't the players just have a little fun? Well, that's what J.R. Smith had in mind when he pulled up to a game on a hoverboard. By the way, who remembers these bad boys? Now, as fun as they were also banned from the NBA. And, well, this is probably within reasons. The ban took place after a number of players injured themselves using hoverboards. So, in a way, this kind of makes sense because taking a fall on those are not fun at all. Yet, J.R. Smith continued to ride his hoverboard and eventually was fined $15,000 by the NBA for violating the ban. On top of that, he eventually got injured and suffered a knee injury for it. So, maybe that's a lesson learned right there. If only J.R. Smith somehow could have seen a vision of his accident, he'd probably stop riding his hoverboard. On a side note, the NBA is introducing a new rule that probably should have been introduced a long time ago. Coming in the 2023-24 season, there is now an in-game flopping penalty. To be honest, it's almost like we're competing with soccer players. Here's how it works. If a flopping penalty is assessed by game officials, the opposing team will be awarded one free throw attempt. A player who commits a flop will be charged with a non-unsportsmanlike technical foul. A player will not be ejected from a game based on flopping violations. So you get the point. Stop flopping all over the place. In the early 2000s, NBA players used to wear long shorts. This was a fashion statement then. Prior to the 1990s, all NBA players wore tight shorts. Even Michael Jordan attempted to move away from tight shorts then so they could move towards the fashion trends. And so throughout the 90s, the NBA introduced the baggy and loose-fitting shorts associated in streetwear fashion. Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson, and Shaq were known for wearing long shorts. But as you could probably guess, the NBA banned long shorts. In 2005, the NBA wanted to provide a dress code to create a more professional image for the league. Now, the league faced a lot of backlash for this move. Some players and fans felt this new dress code was too restrictive and would take away from player individuality and self-expression. Today, the dress code still stands, yet players have found different ways to express themselves on the court. Ironically, the shorts that players wear today are a mix of tight shorts in the 90s and loose-fitting shorts from the 2000s. They have shorter shorts with a loose feel to still provide that comfort and freedom. But let's be real. The long shorts era was fun, with all the street ball teams and players ran by ball up or and one. Speaking of and one, they came out with their own brand on a lot of things such as clothing, shoes, and basketball. If you were a 90s kid, you likely had a pair. They have this ball called the And One Supreme Grip basketball, and this ball never stood a chance making it to the NBA, though the ball has a really cool design on it. The rubber compound on it provides an extra tacky grip, which makes it easier for players to handle the ball, even palm the ball and keep it in their control, making it harder for defenders to steal the ball. Further, the NBA also has rules around the size and weight of their basketballs, and the And One Supreme ball did not meet those standards. As a result, the NBA banned the ball from use in official games. I guess the ball is not so supreme after all. Next on the list might be something that kind of makes sense, but also something you wouldn't think needs to be banned, and that is wearable technology. If you're an athlete, you likely have an Apple Watch, Whoop strap, Fitbit, or something else, and the use of them are self-explanatory. You would think that the NBA allows wearable technology so athletes can track their performance during games, but in 2016, the NBA took all that away. And the reason for this was apparently wearable technology would give an unfair advantage against other teams and opponents? Not too sure how we feel about that, but let us know your thoughts in the comments. The other reason they banned it was because of safety concerns. Now, this kind of makes sense because nobody wants to catch an Apple Watch to the face. That said, today's wearable tech companies have created different ways to wear this technology, so it's not always on your wrist. But maybe that's a conversation for another time. At least you won't get fined $5,000 per game if you wear that technology. That said, Michael Jordan was fined $5,000 per game for wearing his own Jordans. Back in 1984, when Michael Jordan first entered the league, the NBA had a rule that all shoes had to be at least 51% white. If players violated this rule, they would have been fined $5,000 per game. Today, that $5,000 is equivalent to $14,775. But Nike was losing a lot of business back then, and they were in a desperate situation. When Michael signed and they created his first signature shoe, it was red and black. Nike needed to make a crazy move to put their brand back on the map then, so they agreed to pay the $5,000 every game for Michael. It got so bad that the NBA wrote a letter to Nike telling them that the black and red shoes were banned. Nike used this as a marketing opportunity. They sold the black and red shoe known as the Jordan 1 banned shoe.
The NBA can't stop you from wearing them.
And it blew up. Today, as we know it, the Jordan brand is worth billions. Now, if you want to see the process and how Nike and the Air Jordans came to life, be sure to check out the movie Air. The movie tells the story of how Michael signed a deal with Nike to secure a proper endorsement for himself and make it what it is today. Michael has made a massive impact on the NBA, and many argue he's the GOAT over LeBron James. Check out this next video to see how that debate goes down.